Hello, good morning. Today we're going to talk about the importance of sunlight to living organisms. Okay, first of all, I need to ask you a question. What is the meaning of photosynthesis process? We have heard this word before the last lesson. Yes, exactly. The photosynthesis process is a biological process takes place in green parts of the plant to make its own food. It's a biological process takes place in green part of the plant. Which one? Yes, the green leaves, to make its own food. The photosynthesis process happens in plant. Why? Why? Yes, as we said before, the components of the plant cell, it consists of something called chloroplasts or green plastids, which give the plant the green color and absorbs sunlight as well. So the plant absorbs sunlight by the chloroplasts in the leaves and also water and minerals. So it absorbs sunlight and also water and minerals from the soil by roots, and also carbon dioxide gas from the air by leaves to complete the process of photosynthesis. The green plants are considered to be the Earth's lung. Why? Yes, exactly, because they take a carbon dioxide gas from air and produce oxygen during the operation, the photosynthesis. Yes. So the green leaves here contains chloroplasts or green plastids, which absorbs sunlight and make a photosynthesis process. Also the leaves absorbs carbon dioxide and the roots of the plant absorb the salts and mineral from soil. So they take the light energy from the sun, the water, the salt from the soil, the carbon dioxide gas from air, and form their food by a process called photosynthesis. So, the conclusion of what I've said today: if there is no chloroplast in the plant, there won't be a photosynthesis. And if there won't be a photosynthesis, there won't be a photosynthesis process, what's gonna happen? Yes, there won't be food for both animals and plants. Animals and humans, sorry. So, I'd like you to watch this video with me.
What would life be without photosynthesis? Well, you may think it perfectly fine and maybe possibly even be happier because you wouldn't have to learn about it in science lessons. But actually, we wouldn't have life without it. The process of life depends upon it. Not only are photosynthetic organisms the main producers of food, but without photosynthesis, Earth's atmosphere would lose its oxygen. The general gist of what happens in photosynthesis is that green plants and algae trap light from the sun to fix carbon dioxide with hydrogen and water. This makes organic compounds which then provide food for not only the plant itself but also all animals. So now that we know how important it is and how it starts off all of our food production, you can see why we need to learn more about it in detail. Photosynthesis happens in leaf cells. They contain tiny organelles called chloroplast, which contains a green substance called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll molecules sit on the surface of the chloroplasts and capture light energy from the sun, which is fundamental for photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a chemical reaction in which carbon dioxide and water are converted to glucose and oxygen by the energy provided from the light energy absorbed by chlorophyll. It is an endothermic reaction because it takes in energy from its surroundings. We show the light energy in brackets because whilst it is not a substance, it is an essential requirement for photosynthesis to happen. We could have written the equation like this instead. The equation is a very simple representation for a complex process. but is as much detail as we need to know at this stage. So we know the light energy comes from the sun and is absorbed by chlorophyll. But where do the carbon dioxide and water come from? Plants absorb water through their roots, and it moves through the plants and into the leaves by transpiration. Watch our video on xylem and transpiration to learn more about this process. Carbon dioxide enters into the leaves from the air through the stoma on the underside of the leaf. What then happens? Glucose and oxygen are made. Some of the glucose is placed for respiration and some is converted into insoluble starch. This can then be stored and turned back into glucose at a later stage. Oxygen is actually just a byproduct of photosynthesis. There are some useful byproducts in this world. Sawdust from the lumber industry, smoke detectors from space research, but I think we can all agree that producing oxygen is the most valuable of all byproducts. Green plants are called producers or autotrophs because they have the ability to produce their own food. They are the start of the food chain, and every animal relies upon them either directly if they are a herbivore like a rabbit, or indirectly if they are a carnivore like a fox. So you just need to remember that carbon dioxide and water react to glucose and oxygen in the presence of light energy from the sun. This happens inside the chloroplasts in the leaf, with chlorophyll being the green pigment that absorbs the light energy. The glucose made by photosynthesis feeds all animals on Earth, and the oxygen made keeps us alive.
So, now we're going to talk about the types of living organisms. The types of living organisms, we have three types: producers, consumers, and decomposers. Again, we have producers, consumers, and decomposers. Okay. For the producers, they are living organisms that can make their own food by photosynthesis process. So, we call the plants are a amyotrophic living organism or autotrophic living organism. Why? Because they are living organisms that can make their own food by using the process of photosynthesis. So, can you give me examples? Trees, vegetables, greens, yes, green plants, molochia, nice, lettuce, exactly. So, we have green plants, we have algae. Do you know that algae is a plant which grows under the seawater? And also types of bacteria. So, when I ask you, I give reason why the plants are called amyotrophic organisms or autotrophic living organisms. Why? Because they are producers and they can make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. They can make their own food by the process of photosynthesis, exactly. So, the difference between the living organisms. Producers can make their own food, but the consumers eat another organism for food. The decomposers eat or live on the dead body or dead materials. So, the consumers are living organisms that depend on another organism to feed. We have two types of consumers. We have herbivores or carnivores. Directly as a herbivores, like what? Like rabbit eats carrots. The rabbit eats a carrot. The carrot is actually a producer. So the rabbit eats a producer all along. But the human eats the rabbit, which eats the carrot. So we depend on the green plants or the producers indirectly by eating the rabbit. Exactly. The same idea for the fox. The fox eats the rabbit, which eats the carrot. Yes. So it depends indirectly on the carrot. So it depends indirectly on, yes, exactly, on a producer. So we have two types of consumer. A type that depends on a producer in a direct way as a herbivores like a rabbit, like cows, like chickens, yes, and a consumer that it depends on a producer but indirectly like a carnivore What's the meaning of a carnivore? A meat eater. A meat eater organism like humans, foxes, lions, hogs, and so on. So we have the third type here called a decomposer. What's the meaning of a decomposer? The decomposer is a living organism. Take its food or take their food by decomposing organic wastes that lost or dead or remains or rotten, like fungus and bacteria. Like when you leave the bread for a long time on air in hot summer. Okay, yes, you put it in a closed bag in summer in very hot weather, and you left it for 3 days. When you look at the bread, you're gonna see blue circles on the surface of the bread. This is called a bread mold fungus. The fungus actually is a decomposer which takes its own food by eating the rotten food, which is a bread. So, the decomposers formed on the bread or on the orange is a living organism called the fungi, which is known as a decomposer. So please don't touch the decayed food with your own hand. Please wear gloves. And also, when you buy or reserve food, be sure that you reserve it in a validity date and not on the uncertain date for its insurance. So we have examples for decomposers, some types of bacteria, some types of fungi, like the bread mold fungus or the orange fungus, and so on. The importance of decomposer. They help us get rid of dead organisms. Also, they help us get rid of wastes and remains and increase the soil fertility, and used in a lot of industry like pharmaceutical industries, making medicine, yes, making bread like yeast fungus, and so on. So, we have here 4 pictures. We have a green algae. Which type of it? Yes, it is a producer. Exactly. We have a cat, a consumer. We have a bread. Yes, it's a decomposer. We have a bird, a consumer. We have a lion, also a consumer. We're going to make a wrap up for the lesson. The green plants take carbon dioxide and sunlight and water and minerals and produce oxygen and sugar by the process called photosynthesis process. We have 3 types of living organisms according to the way they feed. We have producers. They can make their own food like green plants or green algae. We have consumers like animals and humans. We have decomposers like some fungi and some bacteria. So, now prepare yourself to have this exercise and activity with me. Okay, is our example of producer. Who can tell me the answer? Yes, sure. It is. Yes, it is algae. Yes, algae is example for a producer. Which one of those is example for a decomposer? Yeah, that's right. It's a fungi. A hawk is an example of? Yes, a consumer. The chloroplasts are found in what? Which cell? Yeah, the plant cell. And the plant is called? Yes, producer. Very nice. Producer. The bread mold fungus is a decomposer. The bread mold fungus is a decomposer. So, complete the following sentence with me. Which gas is produced by green plants during the process of photosynthesis? Yes? Oxygen, exactly. To check the existence of starch in the plant leaf, we are using the iodine solution, which turns the green leaves into blue. Exactly. The process of photosynthesis needs the presence of, yes, exactly, as you see, sunlight, and carbon dioxide and water and minerals. Okay. Thank you for continuing the video with me. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you got the benefit of it. Please prepare yourself for your exam and study well. Thank you.